So here I am backstage at the Ultimate Entrepreneur event, and we've got a very special guest who is actually emceeing. So can you introduce yourself and tell us a bit about yourself?
Hi there, I'm Shukeel Chohan. I'm a sales and business strategist. I'm also a public speaking coach, and it's been an immense honor for me to come down to the Ultimate Entrepreneur and actually MC this event. I was an attendee at the last event, and I was also part of the crew. I helped Dario out. I've known Dario for about a year, and I was impressed with what he had done and what he'd put together, because I've been involved in events, and I've been involved heavily in the personal development industry now for a couple of years, and I've seen what work and sort of the passion that goes into it and the money. You know, it's bloody expensive to run these events. And so I wanted to help out Dario, to help him with the vision that he's got. We've got shared aligned visions. And I know that this is something that you need to be part of. You know, opportunities come, don't look at them, just take opportunities. And that's what I do. Every opportunity that comes my way, I've got an open heart, I've got an open mind. It means I'm open to opportunities. So I don't look at the cost, I look at the result and the potential of what might come out. So I agreed, I'll come down and I'll do the 2 days here. It's a lot of time commitment, but you know what? You make amazing contacts. You make amazing connections. There are powerful people in that room, and you don't know who you're going to meet. And that's why I give up my time, and that's why I actually make an effort to travel up and down the country to connect with as many people as I can.
And I understand 3 years ago you went through a huge shift in your life. Down to personal situations with a business partner. Tell us about that, and then what it led to and what you're doing now.
Okay. Well, 3 years back, I suffered a catastrophic business loss. We had a business partner who was fraudulent, and it was a regulated business, so it means, you know, government departments monitor our business. They shut us down because of his fraudulent activities. It meant that I literally lost everything I had apart from the roof over my head. So I lost other property, investment properties, I lost cars, etc. And we lost hundreds of thousands of pounds. Now, what happened after that was I could have gone into depression. I was sad. Yeah, I wasn't depressed. I let my anger and my depression last a moment, and then I decided I've got to carry on, and because I've still got a family to raise, I've still got a life to live, and I decided, what the hell am I good at? I've just spent 25 years in professional sales, and in my experience, one of the biggest skills people lack in business is sales.
Absolutely.
So I thought, I need to share my sales skills. I've got 25 years of experience. I can't take that to the grave. It'd be very selfish if I did. And I want to share that experience. And it's been a phenomenal journey in the last 2 years. And it's opened up so many doors. And I'm now a regular speaker. I'm also, on the back of that, I've become a public speaking coach. I got involved with the Public Speaking Academy based in Sheffield. I'm based in Birmingham, but now I coach up and down the country. So as well as the sales and business strategy coaching.
Is that the Andy Harrington kind of?
No, that's not Andy Harrington. He's got similar, I think his is called the Professional Speakers Association.
Okay, it's got a similar name.
Yeah, very similar name. I'm sure he copied us. Yeah, he's very good at what he does. We're the Public Speaking Academy. So I got in touch with a chap called Bilal Jamil. He runs the Public Speaking Academy based in Sheffield. We coach up and down the country. And it's just opened up so many doors. Speaking, you know, I've always said to people in all the seminars and workshops I do, the two most valuable skills that you can have in business are your ability to sell and your ability to speak. If you are deficient in any of those areas, you are in trouble. And you may be stuck at a certain level of a success.
The law of the lid.
Yeah, but you won't go beyond a certain level. And the only way to go beyond the level that you're at is to upskill, you know, and that is to improve your communication skills. Your ability to influence comes from your ability to communicate.
So when I started out in sales, the problem I had with recruiting people is that they had negative associations, connotations. Sales was a dirty word. They associated it with deception or low-level status. But you look at the biggest leaders in the world, you know, Barack Obama, even a President Trump, you know, they have highly honed sales skills.
They do.
You know, trial lawyers, all these skills are very, very adept. Why do you think it's the case that people, even today, still have negative associations with sales skills, as opposed to looking at it as one of the most lucrative skills to master on the planet?
Well, look, sales skills. Something that I was raised with was sales is a noble art. Okay, it's the sales is king, and I never ever had this image of the dodgy salesperson. Yeah, they exist, but I just remind myself: there's dodgy doctors, there's dodgy lawyers, there's dodgy solicitors, there's dodgy government ministers, there's dodgy people in every area of business, and that just makes me feel so much better because the reality is that if sales skills stopped, if people stopped selling, I promise you, the earth would grind to a halt in not even a day, it would grind to a halt in 5 minutes. If all the salespeople on the planet decided we're not selling today, the earth would be bloody messed up.
Perfect. And one final question, because we'll definitely speak later. I've traveled lots of different countries in the world. Culturally, what do you think is the country that is most naturally adept at sales skills from your experience?
In my experience, you got to take your hats off to the Americans. They've got it sewn up. I was with Grant Cardone just a couple of weeks ago. Very American. He's an American, obviously. But you know what? Those guys have got it in the bag. They've got it super sewn up. And I'm just very, very lucky that a lot of my early influence was from some of the American greats like Jim Rohn. I met him when I was only 17. Which wasn't that long ago, you know. But I was so fortunate that I met him only when I was 17. That gave me the impetus to decide I want a career in sales, because I thought when I looked at this guy, he just made so much sense in the most simplest format. And I thought the level of communication, the skill that he had in attracting people's attention, and that's what he was. He was a master of securing people's attention. And then on the back of that, being able to influence people in the right way. And earlier on, you mentioned about, you know, the negative or the dirty image. You know what? If you manipulate people, that's wrong. If you influence people for the right reasons, because it's the right job for the client or the prospect, then you cannot go wrong. And people, I have this principle, leave people in a position better than you found them. If you don't do business with them, leave them in a position where in the future they want to be your friend, they want to come back to you, and they want to connect with you at some stage in the future. And what happens is a lot of people, oftentimes what they do is they kill the situation because they don't look after people who don't buy.
Because they look at it as a transactional situation
rather
than the lifetime value of the prospect.
Yeah, it is. It's not yes, okay, there's a transaction involved, but if it's purely just an objective situation, it's just transactional, and there's no soul to the sell, there's no soul to the communication and the connection, it goes nowhere. So I've always sold with the view that if the person doesn't become my client today, I'm going to get them in the bag as a client in the future. What do I have to do to maintain excellent relationships with these people? Because they might not be able to do business with me today, but they may know somebody who can do business with me. So I keep my mind up to the infinite possibilities that can come from that particular client. And you know what? It served me well, because I've actually done business. To this day, I've got chains of referrals from people who've never done business personally, but they value enough what I do that they think it's worth me being referred on to their friends and relatives.
It's about intention, and I think the key thing to sales is about creating sufficient value so that the decision makes sense. And whenever I sell, I always have the mindset of, you know, it may make sense to work with me, but equally it may not make sense. And my job in the transactional process is to enable a good decision to take place. Even if that good decision is that they don't work with me, that's still my outcome.
Could be the right decision.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think whatever happens is the right decision. And I try to put myself in the position where the sale either proceeds or it doesn't. Either way, that decision is my decision. Because I chose that on this occasion, this client might not be right for me. And when I leave a meeting with that frame of mind, it puts me in a very comfortable position. I don't feel let down. I don't feel like I've let anybody down, and I don't feel like I've lost something because I was in control. And it's all about having the mindset to be able to overcome the no's, because for most people, if they haven't got their mindset right, and that's something you alluded to earlier about the sales mindset, if they haven't got the mindset right, they get very, very deflated.
Deflated or defensive?
Yeah, deflated or defensive, and it becomes a confrontation. You know, my goal is always to want to become the friend of the person that I'm talking to. I'd love that person to be connected with me. I'd love to and the thing is, that interest has got to be genuine.
Yeah.
You know, when you take a genuine interest in other people, guess what? They genuinely want to take an interest in you. And I think what happens is
people can sniff a script or a rigid process.
Yeah.
When you actually care about the interests and the outcomes of the person you're pitching to, is a whole different process.
Absolutely. You know, you've got to understand, people are more switched on. In the day and age that we live now, with technology, with the internet, with all the information available, you cannot bullshit people anymore. People are switched on. If you say something or make a claim, they can research it. So you've got to be very careful in what you say, and you've got to understand that you're now not just competing with your competitor next door. You're competing with hundreds of people. People now look up things on their phone. In fact, people are checking your competition out whilst you're speaking to them on the phone. They've got their phone and they're Googling whilst you speak to them. And so your skill level, this is the time where we've got to, in the past, you could get away with fluff, you could get away with winging it. As far as I'm concerned, you can't do that anymore because information is so easily available. And if you're not...
And reputation as well.
Yeah,
if you're a bullshitter, you're going to get found out.
Well, yeah, I say if you tell the truth often enough, you'll get found out.
Thank you for your time. We'll definitely speak later.
Thank you. Brilliant.